As Como Park would put it, we tried it once your way. Are you game for a rematch? A rare instance of two non-conference teams facing each other twice in the regular season. We've got the Como Park Cougars looking for their first win, playing their third straight Lake Conference opponent. Tonight, it's last year's semifinalist in Class 4A and one of the perennials year in and year out, the Hopkins Royals at 2-0. Greetings, everyone. I'm Mike Peden, joined by LaToya Turk in her first appearance of the 2021-22 season. LaToya, Como Park, they were fuming a little bit after last year. They couldn't schedule outside the conference due to protocols. Yolanda England and her crew making up for that in a big way. 4 Lake Conference teams. They get Hopkins twice. I can't think of a tougher non-conference slate.
Yeah, you know, traditionally they've played in a conference that hasn't been as strong as them. So getting those outside conference games so that they can get some competition and good runs in is going to be important for this team because, you know, we have a lot of Division I prospects on this team, and they want some good competition to get them ready for those sections. You know, it's early in the season, but we're talking about sections and playoffs already so that they can make a run for the state tournament.
They hope their schedule will prepare them for that. And speaking of those prospects, that includes Ronnie Porter, who hasn't decided on a college yet, KK Asbury, Division II commit Shakyla Walker, JUCO commit recently, Chloe Dimitrick going to Waldorf. This Como Park team, they don't have a lot of height, but they have a lot of scrappy guards. Ronnie Porter leads that bunch. And this group, they've been together for 5 years. Porter and Asbury started as 8th graders, and they have piled on the points over the years.
Yeah, this is their year. We also have Shakyla back. Well, no.
Shania, you're thinking Shania.
Yeah, we have her back.
It's been a couple years, folks. The names are a little foggy. Shania Nichols Van Ed.
And, you know, I've had an opportunity to get some open runs in with the girls over the past couple of weeks. And so they look really good. And so this is their year. They want to make a statement, especially sitting out last year. So we'll see what they do tonight.
And speaking of runs, that's what Hopkins can do. They've got a lot of athletes who can run the floor in a hurry. Amaya Battle going to Minnesota. Maya Naji heading to Arizona. Nunu Agara, she's verbal to Stanford. Olivia McGill, she's going to play Division I somewhere. We're not sure yet. Taylor Woodson, a strong starting 5. They've got some players off the bench who can chip in. This Hopkins team, they're on a mission. They're not used to not playing in the final day of the season. Como Park, won't have to worry about them in the state tournament, but for Hopkins, this is all part of a redemption tour.
Yeah, out the gate. You know, we're used to seeing Como with the run and gun game, but Hopkins is so long, their guards are so big that they really can push the ball up the floor. And so kind of reminds me of their coach Tara Stark's playing days back at North and how they facilitated the floor. Hopkins is just loaded and stacked. Even with losing a couple of players in preseason, they still look really good this year.
Well, Hopkins looked really good in the opening weekend, beating Como Park by 40 on Friday, and then beating Rosemount in a runaway on Saturday at the Pat Patterson tip-off at Hamlin. So this Hopkins team, they're ready to reclaim the gold medal in Class 4A, but they got to get through Como Park and a few other games before then. Stick around.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes. Yes!
Game winners.
James, she's in trouble. Finds James. Toss shot! It goes in!
And everything in between.
Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
Welcome back to Como Park High School. Mike Peden and LaToya Turk with you in Como, or I should say LaToya. I was about to call you the building. They've upgraded the lights since our last visit here, so we're going to get quite the spotlight on a pair of teams that could make their respective state tournaments. Hopkins, as we've seen in the first couple of games, they can still put up big numbers. Como Park, don't let the record fool you. They might take a few hits early in the season. They have Providence Academy next week. They play De La Salle at the Tip-Off Classic. They've got Becker later on this season. Eden Prairie, Wayzata. they want to be prepared. So they might take a few losses along the way, but Yolanda England and the rest of that group have bigger goals in mind.
Yeah, and the good part about these girls is that they play together. A lot of these girls have played together in the off season, so they know what they're up against. They know the teams that they're meeting up, their skill set, and so I don't take anything away from their record. It's a good preparation for them mentally and physically to know what to expect as they get deep into the season and go into sections.
For Como Park, they lost 83-43 to Hopkins and then 86-50 to St. Michael Albertville. Ronnie Porter leading the team with 11.5 points per game. Shakyla Walker, 10.5. Those numbers figure to change once Como Park gets into conference play and gets some winnable games. But this Como team, they love to run. They love to floor it. We've seen that over the last several years with this group. And that is why they are a team to watch. Let's take a look at the starters. Como Park changing things up since our last visit. So they're going to start Ronnie Porter, Shania Nichols-Van Nett, Jada James, Shakyla Walker, and Kayla James will get the start tonight, number 45. Hopkins will start their usual 5. Amaya Battle, the Minnesota commit, Taylor Woodson, Olivia McGill, Nunu Agara, the Verbal Stanford commit, and Maya Naji, who's headed to Arizona, last year's runner-up in the NCAA tournament, led by Adia Barnes, and Stanford the defending champions. So
Big 5. It's a big 5.
And Paige Becker's signed an NLI deal with Gatorade. So if you go to Hopkins, at least with these group of kids, the next few years, they might be making some money.
Yeah, cue the music.
You and I, we went to college too early.
Yeah, we talked about that all summer with the ladies about the new endorsement deal opportunities that are going to be coming down. And I just hope to see a lot of these ladies because they will be the face of a lot of programs around the country that they utilize that.
Hopkins wins the tip. They're wearing the white jerseys. Como wearing the black. And Hopkins lost the dribble, so Shania Nichols-Van Nett will pick it up. Shania, of course, the younger sister of Michaela, who was a three-point sharpshooter at Como Park, playing at Hutchinson College, if I'm correct.
And if there's one thing we know about this team is that they definitely, you can see that Ronnie didn't bring the ball up the floor on the first transition. They watched some film on this. Hopkins as well, they're trapping and running her off that three-point line.
Battle to McGill for our first bucket. They didn't just need to watch film. Remember, these two teams played each other on Friday, so they're already familiar with each other. There's Walker to Kayla James, no good. Amaya Battle with the rebound. Amaya, the dish to Naji, she's doubled. That means someone's going to be open. McGill. Como fans wanted to travel. Maya Naji with the long 2, and it's good. That was close to a travel, but Hopkins gets the score out of it. Kayla to Jada. Jada thought about the 3 and ends up throwing it away. Miscommunication there with Shakyla Walker.
And you got to be firing all cylinders when you're playing a team at this caliber.
Now KK Asbury will come in. Jada James. Did she tweak something?
And I'm always watching for what their new shoes are, and I didn't realize that KK had new hair.
Well, I'm wondering if Jada tweaked something because she was slow to get back to the bench. Here's Nunu Agara. Up. No good. Well, she put back her own miss. Agara had quite the season for the top Metro Stars team this past summer. Usually plays the 4 while Naji handles the 5, but as I said on Saturday, Agara, when she needs to, she can take over as well.
Yeah, Ronnie does a great job of using her body to seal off the bigger guards. And we can see this smothering trap that Como or Hopkins is doing. Extremely effective against the smaller guards.
Jada James going back in place of Kayla. Shania Nichols, I believe, missed the last couple of years due to injury.
And I'm looking at the Como bench and see if they have another guard that maybe they could bring in that's a little taller. and allow Ronnie to facilitate shooting a little more. And we know that Chloe Dimtrick's been in the gym for the past 3 years. And so I think pulling one of the bigs out of the paint would be very helpful for them.
Yolanda still tinkering with her lineup. There's a lot of experience with this Como Park team.
That's a good place to be in.
3 ball. Jada James Cannon from the corner, and the rebound will go to the Royals. Taylor Woodson, she and Olivia McGill both ranked in the ESPN, I believe, the Super 60. They're both, well, Woodson is a junior, I believe. McGill's a sophomore, but both are on the ESPN radar. And so is Amaya Battle, who stops, pops, and hits the 15-footer.
And Amaya Battle says that's one of her strengths, is that mid-range shot. We've watched Paige, too, find her have her sweet spots right in that mid-range area.
Amaya Battle and the rest of the Hopkins crew told me Paige was the toughest player they had to go against in practice.
Makes you better.
It certainly did.
Makes it a lot easier when you step on the floor against other competition.
Battle, who hit the jumper. I got to watch her play a few times for Metro Stars, the 2022 team, in the summer for Junior All-Star. And Amaya, what impresses me most about her, she can cover every cubic inch of the floor. She has an almost perfect combination of speed and vertical. You don't see that often.
Yeah.
See a lot of post players who can rebound, and you have a lot of guards who can shoot, but none who can mix it up the way Amaya has.
And that 6'1" frame helps. She's long. Her basketball IQ is extremely high. And so you're absolutely right. She can play both ends of the floor, which is an asset. She's going to be a good addition to that Minnesota team.
She also knows every word to every Drake song in existence.
Well, we have a little something in common there, girl.
Well, she's looking to get some really big rings because she's got a really good team. And Taylor Woodson scores off the steal from Battle. All 5 Hopkins starters have scored. KK Asbury trying to get the Cougars on the board, and she left the layup short.
Well, Miss Starks, we can tell that your girls have been conditioning and they are in the gym.
And that's a foul as Woodson tried to bring the ball up.
And
Foul's called on Nichols Van Neck, her first, team first.
There's Woodson at the free throw line, kicks back out to McGill. Liv started her prep career at Park Center before transferring to Hopkins. There's Maya Naji. Turnaround no good. Amaya Battle with the deflection.
got to use those ball fakes.
And Como Park in trouble here. We've got a tie-up. It's not just the ball fakes, but Hopkins, we saw this with Brian Cosgrove all those years. Tara Stark's no different. They pressure you right away.
Yep.
So even if you can force a stop, you have to be attentive. Hopkins will be ready for you defensively.
And that's a great attribute for a team to be able to transition that quick and switch it from offense to defense so quickly, where your mindset is.
14:29 left in the first half, 10-0 our score. Amaya Battle, the younger sister of Jamison Battle, who's now with the Gophers. Amaya will soon join her big brother. Agara going inside to Naji. Battle was open.
That's a great steal.
Battle was open, and instead Como Park gets the steal out of it. Can they cash it into points?
I would love to see Como Park on those transition plays get a shooter spotted up quick.
Well, they'll go to the line, and Shakyla Walker was fouled. Maybe that gives Como Park a chance. Walker averaging 10.5 points per game, 2.5 rebounds.
Shakyla Walker at the line for the Cougars, shooting 2.
Walker heading to Nyack, northern Iowa area. So she'll start her college career on the JUCO route, but a lot of Minnesota players have gone down to Nyack before transitioning. And
we've really seen her develop, too, over this last offseason. Her ball handling looks a little better. She's running the floor better.
And she gets Como Park on the board, 10-2 our score. And Hopkins with a rare miscue on an inbound play. But I talked to Amaya and Liv after Saturday's win over Rosemount. They know they're not where they need to be, and I think any coach would tell you if your best form was now, you're in trouble. So everyone trying to figure themselves out, and remember, these non-conference games were rare for a lot of teams. Como couldn't play outside the conference. Hopkins had to pause their season due to a COVID exposure. Agara, elbow J, off the back iron, rebound Porter. Ronnie made a name for herself this summer with FBC Rio. Taylor Woodson making a name for herself on that play with the block. Here comes McGill. The dish to Naji. Nice hesitation move and one.
So patient as a post player when you know you're that dominant and you have that much height advantage over. She did some great, kept the ball up high, didn't put the ball on the floor, and just took her time with that step through.
We saw glimpses of that leadership from Naji in her sophomore season when she had Paige, and the way she can shoot the ball, handle rebounds. She won a couple of games for the Royals when they were in a tight situation. And now Maya Naji forcing the turnover, so she doesn't take a play off. And I was about to say, even when Paige was in the midst of her senior year coronation, Maya Naji, to me, one of those players who could take over that leadership mantle. She was hard on herself after the loss to Chaska in the Class 4A semis last year, but she brings a lot. A classic example of the stretch four we see today.
And then this Hopkins team, they have a lot of stretch fours out here. And it looks like Tara's went with a smaller lineup right now. She's brought in some more guards.
Kelly Boyle's out there. Amaya Battle pads her point and rebound total. Royals up 15-2. Nichols, Vanette. I'm still getting used to saying both names.
I know.
Because she went by Shania Nichols for a little while.
And I have to be cautious.
Look out. Maya can't hit threes, not that time, but she can knock them down. And she and Ronnie Porter, I should point out, were teammates this past AAU season at FBC Rio.
They're really running them off of that three-point line.
Jada James for three, no good. And that is Micaiah Copeland, number 22, who got the rebound. Naji in trouble. Copeland open for three. Boyle with the O-board. Naji pump fakes through traffic, and she'll shoot two.
Yeah, Nichols had gotten away. Nichols Vanette got away a couple of times with tying up those players, getting her hands in there. One too many this time.
Something I noticed, though, after it looked like Nichols Vanette got the ball out of Naji, it looked like she was celebrating for a split second.
Yeah.
And that allowed Hopkins
just enough
to get
for
to
that
Copeland.
swing. Yeah.
So for Shania, and I know it's been a couple of years, so it's tough to go back in after missing that much time. But with Hopkins and all the opponents they will face later this season, they can't take a play off. If you get that stop, until you can secure that steal, you got to watch out for the open player.
Absolutely. I would say Chloe Demchuk come in the game for Como Park, and she's another stretch four. You know, she can help bring the ball up if need be. She can shoot inside and outside, and so let's see what she brings to the floor right now.
Dimitrick going to Waldorf University next year. The last time we saw her, I should say a couple of seasons ago, her hair color was a little bit lighter. And what happened there? Did the clock not start? I guess that's what happened, because I saw one of the officials point to the clock. Porter
That's more of a guard that Ronnie can get down with. So, yeah. She recognized that right away.
Ronnie Porter and KK Asbury both over 1,000 points scoring. Perhaps they can get to 2,000 this year. Taylor Woodson, turnaround, swish.
Basket by Woodson.
Como on the run. Jazzy Dupree breaks it up. 11:50 to go. Hopkins leads 19-14. Here comes McGill. What about the trajectory of McGill? Your first year, you had Adalia McKenzie as the teammate. Then you move over to Hopkins.
Yeah, so when you play with someone like Adalia, you realize what the potential is. And we can say Liv understood the assignment. I was reading in her breakdown bio that she wanted to be a rapper. And so we can get her and Maya Naji together. she rap and she sing. That sounds like an endorsement deal there.
Adalia can drop some verses too. Agara with the turnaround. Yes. Agara and McGill, I believe, or Naji, as Shakyla Walker drives and scores. Agara and Naji, I believe, both on Naismith's watch list for the high school
Nice.
class. Well, Agara is getting a lot of publicity. I'd almost say she's
she's
a bit of
developed
an
so
unsung
much.
hero.
Yeah, she's developed so much over these past 4 years. I love watching her play.
Here she goes again. Can't get the turnaround to fall that time. Como looking to push. Asbury. How in the world did you put that in? I thought Jazzy Dupree had sealed her off. Asbury found some speck of room. I don't know how, but she gets a three-point play chance.
Yeah, she has that scoop layup. So, I mean, if you come down over the top of that, you can almost guarantee you're going to get a foul from the ref. So,
Asbury has been doing that for years, and I remember, I think you were with me when Como Park played Stillwater all those years ago, and Asbury had a 20-point game as an eighth grader against a younger Stillwater team. Now, they didn't have Liza Carlin or they had Pratt and Scalia, but Carlin hadn't been there yet. But that told me KK was going to be something special, and then Ronnie Porter came along, and now both are. 21-9 our score in favor of the Royals.
it's really nice to see the fan support that they have in the stands as well. That always helps your team.
There is a mask requirement here, but that's about the only change between last year and this year. No capacity limits. Copeland and Naji. The long skip to McGill. She fakes the three.
Quick
drive.
first out. Quick first step there.
And that's a foul on Copeland. And that, to me, is an example of what Amaya was talking to me about following Saturday's game, where Hopkins isn't where they want to be. Because Hopkins is up big, but when they play Minnetonka, who looks scary good, Wyzetta, EP, no slouch, St. Michael-Abbeville with Tessa back, they're quick and they're deep. Look at Boyle with the steal. Well, Hopkins, you know what? That's what they do. They make a mistake, they get right back to it. But I think they like to tune up their efficiency.
Yeah, and they're in a little bit of advantage here because Como Park's bench isn't as deep. But, you know, looking at Hopkins' bench as well, like they've rotated in some of their reserves quite early here. I don't know how that's going to work against a bigger matchup of, a Minnetonka or...
Oh, Minnetonka, you got a couple of kids from the Hopkins program that moved over there. Minnetonka can go 2 lines deep. STMA can go 2 lines deep. The Lake Conference is going to be stacked.
Yeah.
Dead ball rebound to the Royals after McGill split at the line. Wyzetta with Mara Braun in the mix.
Yeah.
Not to be taken lightly. Eden Prairie, they've got some athletes led by Nia Holloway. I'll be seeing them on Thursday. I wish you could be with me, LaToya.
I'm on assignment right now for a city that's going, there's some crisis management, so.
Walker drew the blocking foul. Of course, we're teasing you, LaToya.
Yeah.
We know you have other commitments, but Maple Grove and Eden Prairie, that should be a fun one with Ari Gordon, another Metro Stars player. Played alongside a lot of these Hopkins kids as Walker goes back to the line for 2.
I'll definitely be able to catch you guys a little more when we get into January.
Yeah, barring anything weird. I know the talk this week has been Omicron, although still early, but preliminary data is encouraging.
And, as a nurse, Mike, one thing I can encourage these young ladies to do is stay healthy off the court. So follow their COVID protocols off the court so that their teams can stay on the court. That's going to be extremely important.
That's why I got my booster during the break I had between fall and winter.
Yeah.
Ronnie Porter looking to boost Como Park. And that's going to be a foul on Asbury. Porter almost had it there, and Asbury, you can't falter for that, but I don't know if you want to be fouling Hopkins. You're not quite as deep
Exactly.
as they are. But I can tell you, Walker 4 for 4 from the line. And she has 6 points in the early going.
Love it.
Walker to Boyle, 3-ball, corner pocket.
Boyle for 3.
And it's just always nice to be able to see one of your bigs to be able to come out and play defense on a guard.
Asbury, we should point out, another FBC Real athlete. So she and Naji got to play alongside each other. That FBC team, I think Walker was a part of them too.
Uh-huh.
They didn't always win a lot, but they made games competitive. That opening round of the Summer Jam, they gave the top team from Florida, Essence Tip Hayes and Jania Barker, who is going to Georgia, a run for their money. Here's McGill for 3. Swish.
McGill for 3.
And Hopkins giving Como Park a run for their money. McGill with 6.
You can see Hopkins, their play development. It's way advanced for what we're seeing in high school basketball. I attribute that to the coaching staff and taking the off season and developing yourself as a coach as well.
Asbury had nowhere to go, so she did the smart thing and bounced it off a Hopkins player for a reset.
So we see this smaller guard on Ronnie.
Taylor Woodson with the steal and short that time, but she gets her own rebound. That was set up by a tip from Hopkins on the defensive end. Amaya Battle with the deep 3. That's short.
Wow.
Woodson, rebound. Walker gets in there for the tie-up. Como with the arrow, and Walker showcasing her scrappiness, and look at the reaction it draws from the crowd. Walker came to play. Two head coaches in their second season. Yolanda England, second season as head coach, but she spent many years on the bench with Alexis Gray Lawson. Tara Starks, as Amaya Battle fouls Asbury. Tara Starks, no stranger either, involved in the Metro Stars program, and pretty much wherever she went, as far as AAU, her players followed. So she coaches a lot of them in spring and summer. And of course, her daughter went to Arizona, now a graduate assistant at UConn. Walker for 3, no good. Her daughter, TT, we should point out. And another Minnesota product, Kira Russell, who went to Arizona State, also a graduate assistant at UConn. And Maya Naji will probably want that rebound back. 8:08 left in the first half, 28-11. Hopkins, they're up big over Como Park.
Entering the game for the Cougars, number 23, Chloe Thompson.
And this is Chloe Thompson. Didn't play a lot in that game with St. Michael Albertville. And Walker expected Ronnie to be at the corner, and Ronnie wasn't there. The cheerleader was, but she can't play. So Hopkins will take over. Agara was calling for it.
Yeah, got to know those slips.
Found Boyle. Como trying to keep up with Hopkins. Como got a hand on the dribble. The fans wanted to travel. Instead, Battle gets the bucket.
So it's early in the season, you know.
Ronnie looks short, and it is. And Agara against Thompson.
She's got to get out of there,
Agara against Thompson. I'd almost call that an unfair matchup. Chloe, I don't know if she's seen a lot of posts who can play as fluidly as Agara.
Yeah, that could have been bad. Could have been bad.
Nunu wants to be a lawyer someday. I had her on my podcast last year before the season started.
I think she will be. We're going to say...
Well, she's going to Stanford, so I've got a feeling
Nunu will be a lawyer someday.
I've got a feeling if she's going to Stanford... Whoa, Ronnie Porter!
Oh, that deserves a replay. That deserves a replay right there.
5'3", rejecting 6'1". Ronnie did grow an inch. She's not 5'2" anymore, 5'3". Woodson, mid-range J, can't bank it in. James amongst the trees. Asbury to James. Out to Porter.
Yeah.
Side fade. Kelly Boyle stays with her. Asbury off the curl. No good. And that 6'4" frame of Naji is tough to go against on the boards. Amaya Battle stops, pops, buries it. Timeout, Como Park. That makes it 32-11, I believe. Battle up to 8 points. Hopkins, they've had some moments where they looked a little sluggish, but overall, they look like the team that's ready to get busy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. They have so many weapons that you know, playing with that many players, you really have to pick your poison.
And I was going to say with Agara, who's going to Stanford, I've got a feeling the world will be her playbook. You're going to Stanford. Look at all the athletes they've produced. The Ogumake sisters, they got the national championship this past year. Anna Wilson playing her last year there. Russell Wilson's younger sister. And another fun fact with Agara, I do know, if my memory's correct, she has Nigerian lineage.
So do I.
So do the Ogumakes, and if you want to go way back,
All people in the gym not playing in the game must have their masks on.
okay, we've got our masks on. We're
Covered.
I was going to say, if you go way back, another Stanford product with Nigerian lineage who became one of the best contenders in the history of American Gladiators. Peggy Odita, her daughter, Zolani, plays on the beach volleyball team. So
How does your brain hold all of that, Mike?
that's what the podcast will do to you. Speaking of brain power, Kelly Boyle and Olivia McGill have plenty of it.
Kelly Boyle sings in minutes here right now.
But I'm saying that, hold on, Ronnie Porter struggling, only has one field goal, just can't get anything going. Jump ball, I believe. Hopkins with the arrow. I was going to say, you probably have heard the old paradigm, the old trope about Nigerians going into, well, law. Agara wants to be a lawyer, so, okay, maybe.
Engineering, lawyers, doctors.
Well, there's a lot of athletes, too, and Agara has the opportunity to add her name to that list.
Yeah. So, Agara, since we're both Nigerian, don't forget about us when you make it big.
When Nunu watches this, she's probably going to wonder, where do you get all this information?
We have sources.
I just remember everything. Walker going inside to James. James went for the kick out and fed it right to Battle. Porter stays with her. Amaya wanted the foul. I'll tell you what, Ronnie may not be finding her rhythm on offense, but she's doing what she can on defense to keep Como Park hanging around.
Absolutely, and when you are dominating at this level, you're not going to get every single call from the ref, and so you just got to know that.
I thought you did as a player. You probably got every call.
Well, yeah, I know how I work that sideline, too.
Battle in trouble. Porter with the steal. Can Como convert on offense? Well, Walker, she's been the one bright spot for the Cougars in the first half.
Yeah, and you can see how Ronnie used her body, shielded off the defender, and just kind of waited for Shakyla to get there and dropped her the dime.
Walker to the line. She's 4 for 4 so far.
Walker to the line for 2.
I'd love to see Como just had some good solid picks and get some of their, they have some really great shooters on their team, and get some shots up and go ahead and chip away at this lead.
Walker splits that time. She has 7 points. Well, Como Park, they only have 3 field goals.
Well, if we got to get it at the free throw line, we'll take it too, right?
Right, but they're going to have to step up their efficiency as Naji draws the foul. We should point out Naji has Nigerian lineage too.
Foul is called on number 42,
And she'll be going to Arizona.
That's going to be great. It's going to be a great environment to play in, great coach. You know, one of the things that I read in that was a reoccurring theme for the Hopkins girls in the breakdown book was their connection to their team and how they enjoyed playing with each other and the friendships that they made, which I think is extremely important when you want to have a healthy team that can work together and can tell these girls have each other's back.
Well, that camaraderie has been there for years. I'm good friends with Michael Contreras, who's taking a break from coaching this year with Elena unable to play due to recovering from an ACL tear. But he said, one example, Amaya Battle, Taylor Woodson, and Elena Contreras, they all hang out with each other. They all go to the same school, play with the same team, but you can always find those three together. They often enjoy fishing. They say Elena Contreras is the best of the group when it comes to fishing. And Como got a little too grabby there. That's going to send Naji to the line for a 1-and-1.
And, you know,
Foul's called on Dimitri, her first. Hopkins is in the bonus.
hopefully at halftime they'll do some analysis. Because Hopkins is getting that ball and they're driving right into the lane. And the defense isn't starting until Hopkins is already in the lane. And at that point, it's too late.
Especially with this group. Well, it doesn't matter what the team looks like. Whether it's this group, when they had Paige Beckers and Lele Chacolas, Lele at Hampton. Nia Holly comes to mind.
Yeah.
Going back to 2016, Nia Coffey in 2013. I've often said the coverage or lack thereof when Nia Coffey was around is a little baffling.
And for the Como girls, I really want them to understand that their schedule is stacked this year, and so this is a new feeling for them because they haven't been on the receiving. That was a great move. Haven't been on the receiving end of these types of scores or games.
Woodson will go to the line. And that's why we said in the open and at the start of this game, Como Park, they know they might take a few hits because they haven't scheduled this tough since I started covering the team. They had some good matchups with Andrea Adams.
Yeah.
But they had that one year where they had some good non-conference games and then just beat up the St. Paul City Conference. Got that Becker game as a tune-up.
Yeah.
But they got Hopkins twice, STMA, Wayzata EP, we mentioned them. They'll play Becker in February, Providence Academy next week. Minnehaha Academy, they've loaded up.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see what Matt Pryor has over there.
I'll be there on the 10th when they play Prior Lake. I'll put it to you this way, LaToya. Minnehaha and Providence in the breakdown book as Jada James fires the three. There was an even split as to who would win the 2A title between Providence and Minnehaha.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw Providence on Friday with Matt and Greenway and the Count sisters. I don't want to make make a guess because
you got to have
close.
more than two, though, because Minnehaha is stacked.
It's that close.
Yeah, that'll be a good matchup.
And likewise, as Naji goes to the line for two, I can't tell you who's going to win 4A. Minnetonka, they look scary good, maybe the best I've ever seen. And that includes the 2016 team. You know Hopkins, they're ready for battle.
Yeah. That's good.
Chaska's coming back. They've got Heyer and Kennedy Sanders.
Nice. It's going to be a whole lot of good basketball.
Yeah, don't ask me who's going to win 4A because I could see 3 Lake Conference teams getting in there. That's about all I'll tell you.
You know, it really shows that a lot of our collegiate athletes struggled during COVID and the time away. And I saw a different message here. Our girls really utilized a lot of the free gym time, downtime to recover, work on their skills. And so I say Minnesota has some of the best high school girls basketball in the country right now.
Well, Maya Naji not struggling, and Ronnie Porter finally gets a drive to go in her favor. Naji up to 12 points.
And all it takes is just a couple of shots for Ronnie to get going.
I'll never forget you and I were on hand for her 1,000th point. Maya Naji, Jada James cut her off that time. KK Asbury trying to, pulls the side fade on Woodson. Almost. Had that gone in, that would have gone on Asbury's highlight reel.
And then Ronnie tied it up underneath the basket. It's great.
Como with the possession arrow. Hopkins leads 41-14.
and Battle.
Maybe not a score that surprises you, but again, Como, they're going to play tough. They're not worried about records, not with the schedule they put together.
Yep, and that's one thing I want to see them do is just continue to play for the entire game.
We mentioned Hopkins on a mission, so is Como Park. They came up short against St. Croix Lutheran, who went down to 2A this year. But I know you fielded a call from a parent. I won't mention that parent's name. Como was fuming a little bit that they couldn't play teams outside the conference the way Hopkins was able to.
Yeah.
Or some other schools, and they felt that underprepared them for section play. They want to prove that they can hang. In 3A, though, Becker, they bring back some experience and a young core. And don't forget, Benilde St. Margaret's Olivia Olson got some help with Kendall McGee transferring.
Yes.
We're going to see them next week as well. Dimitrik turned around no good. So many great teams, only one me, but I'm glad to be back. And here's Agara weaving through traffic, no good. McGill with the rebound. Battle
Mid-range.
pulls up. You bet.
Battle.
Amaya Battle, that mid-range jumper is reminiscent of Candace Dupree. Anytime Dupree was set up in mid-range, it was money. And Dimitrik struggling with their shots right now.
Yeah.
Here comes Battle, the smooth, shifty Amaya, and she'll go to the line for two. Amaya, we mentioned, knows every word to every Drake song. Also can't get enough of Raising Cane's, so I've got a feeling what her
That's the
first NLI
culture.
deal might be. But hey, Raising Cane's, I've been there a few times.
Well, you know, maybe if
They make good chicken. You know.
hopefully Raising Cane's hears this broadcast and they realize what a gym they have in her. And, you know, when she goes to the U, they can etch some deal.
And as we say that, she misses both free throws. I think we apologize, Amaya, for jinxing a potential NLI deal for you. Timeout, Como Park. Or you know what? Maybe someone from Raising Cane's watches this broadcast and says, maybe they'll sponsor us too.
We'll take it.
I like their chicken.
That sauce.
2 minutes to go. Hopkins up 43-14. Again, not a surprising score per se, but Como Park. I talked to Yolanda on Saturday, and she wasn't suggesting, okay, we'll take a loss here. Nothing along the lines of that. She was talking as if Como Park would be in contention. She said, we had to work on boxing out more. We've got to work on stuff. So Yolanda's looking at this as an opportunity to learn and to grow, and
Absolutely.
she's treating this like any other game, as you should.
There's some key points that they need to just tighten up on as a team, and they have to play through this and continue to play through this. This is not going to be the first time that they're going to be down and on the scoreboard, and so they got to figure out how to play through it especially against a dominant team. They're so used to being the dominant team.
Well, they are in the St. Paul City Conference, and from the looks of it, I'd say that won't change.
Not
St.
at
Paul
all.
Central got pummeled by Minnehaha Academy on Saturday. Dimitrik pump fakes, finally gets one to go in.
By Dimitrik, assist from Asbury.
Cougars will take that. Battle again.
Battle 2-2.
Amaya's mid-range game is something to behold.
Yeah. I wish I had something that Drake says to go along with that. I'll figure it out over halftime.
I don't think she started from the bottom. Shakyla Walker knocks down the three.
That was nice, Mike. That was nice.
45-19. Here comes Battle. Pulls up again. I guess she's human after all. Well, you can't make them all. Deep three for Asbury off the back iron. Dupree with the rebound. McGill. I don't know if she saw Copeland, but she sees the lane and she'll get free throws out of it.
And if you go back and watch this film, a lot of Como's fouls are deep in that lane. When you have 6'1" players coming into the lane, it's just too deep, especially when they're grabbing the ball at the three-point line and they're 2 or 3 dribbles in. You got to make a decision to play defense a little sooner.
Right, they get that first step. Don't forget, we have the restricted zone.
Yeah, where you're guaranteed a foul.
McGill The sophomore, again, already getting some publicity on ESPN's Hoop Girls
Only
rankings.
a sophomore?
Only a sophomore.
Wow.
Remember,
You
she
got
was
it.
a key contributor with Park Center a couple years ago.
Yeah. She was just a dog on defense at Park Center, and now she's developed into a scoring threat as well. And she's getting taller. It's always a plus when you have a guard that can see over.
She's getting taller. We're getting older. I've got a few grays coming in, and that's when it hit me, LaToya. This is my 15th year calling games. We get older. The players don't.
Yes. I'm so thankful, though, they trust us and allow us to come and call their games, and they enjoy it.
35 seconds. And a traveling call on Battle.
It's a rarity.
Well, again, Hopkins are not invincible. No team is. That's why I've said don't ask me who's going to win it all in 4A, because at the start of the season, I might have gone with Hopkins after seeing Minnetonka, what they did in the opening weekend. They play Eastridge tonight. Look out.
Yeah.
And don't forget, they've got two guards. That backcourt of theirs, Ware and Lockett.
Man, the speed, the basketball IQ, the athleticism.
They play Minnetonka, Hopkins does, January 4th. I might have to circle that one on the calendar.
Yeah.
Ronnie Porter can't get the runner to fall. Scrapping for the rebound.
Ronnie's all over the place.
And she ends up fouling Copeland. That's going to put Hopkins at the line for two with 11.7 on the clock.
I wonder how many fouls that is on Ronnie.
Foul is called on Ronnie Porter, her first personal.
Okay, great.
You got your answer. Ask and you shall receive.
Great.
Copeland at the line. She has not scored in this game. Averaging 3.5, but it's early. Only 2 games, and Hopkins, they haven't had any close ones yet.
Correction, Copeland, the shooter, makes the first.
Beat Rosemount 79-40. Beat Como Park 83-43 in the first meeting. Copeland gets on the board. Hopkins 14 of 19 from the free throw line. There's the pressure from the Royals. Como Park breaks it. Royals out of fouls to give, so Walker goes to the line for a 1-and-1. And Walker, the one player who has displayed any sign of consistency for the Cougars.
Fouls on Copeland for third.
But
1-and-1 for the
Cougars have
Foul for the shooter.
a chance to regroup, make some adjustments at halftime, and again, more of that big picture philosophy.
Yeah.
And you look at the schedule they put together. De La Salle, they play them Saturday morning at the Tip-Off Classic. De La Salle got moved into Section 3 this year, so those two could square off again.
De La Salle has some great underclassmen heat over there. Got a transfer with Malia White from Maranatha.
Battle can't hit the buzzer beater, but Hopkins played a solid first half, 49-21. 3 Hopkins players in double digits already, and that's just the way the Royals like it, a balanced attack. Any thoughts, LaToya, before we go to break?
I'm so happy to be back in the gym and calling a game, but this Hopkins team they look so good, especially for it to be early in the season. And also for the Como Park team, they're handling this very well. They're continuing to play. They're continuing to get up and down the floor, and that's going to be key for them. Continuing to get up and down the court and put just whatever type of pressure they can put on this Hopkins team.
We'll see what happens when we return. This is high school girls basketball.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes. Yes!
Game winners.
From James. She's in trouble. Finds James. Toss shot! It goes in!
And everything in between.
Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
Mike Peden and LaToya Turk back with you at Como Park High School in St. Paul, a place where we have documented many memories in high school hoops. Hopkins leads Como Park 49-21 at the half. Leading scorers, Battle and Naji have 12 each for the Royals. Liv McGill has 10. Woodson with 6. Como, 12 points for Shakyla Walker, but not a lot of field goals. I'm counting 5 in all for the Cougars. That will have to change if they want to make a run at Hopkins, win or lose.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to use your strengths, and Como Park has some amazing dynamite three-point shooters, and I think if they just use their bigs to get some good solid picks going and let some of those deep threes fly, it'll help decrease that lead. But also, only having a few field goals attributes that smothering defense of Hopkins that we're seeing right out the gate from baseline to baseline.
And looking at the Hopkins schedule, as we pointed out, well, they play a lot of tough teams. They'll play Minnehaha Academy and IMG Academy at that Super Games at the Lakes. We'll see how that goes for them. East Ridge, they're an up-and-coming team.
I know. She's done an amazing job.
Ashley Ellis-Milan and Britt Carlson had graduated or chose to graduate early, so she left, and folks are wondering, okay, how's this East Ridge team going to look? But Ashley Ellis-Milan wants them to play scrappy, fast ball, and the Raptors could be a dark horse.
Assignment.
I might have to go pay them a visit. Second half underway. Nunu Agara. No good. Rebound, Naji. Woodson up and in.
Basket by Woodson.
For Hopkins, though, they've been the standard bearer for a long time. They won 4 state titles in a span of 5 years. Picked up another one in 2019 with Beckers. They beat Stillwater, of course, that year. KK Adams, Lele Chacolis. Battle going to Agara.
They tried it.
Well, and I think Nichols Van Eck got the tip, but McGill is open for 3. No good.
Much better box out that time from Como Park.
Let's see if Como can translate it into offense. Nichols Van Nett, deep 3, no good. And McGill using her height advantage over Asbury. Woodson rims out. Walker picks it up.
They have numbers.
Jada James, baseline J, no good. Another rebound for Agara. Battle, the Woodson. Nice step through and in.
That deserves a highlight. Yeah, and they got to see Ronnie over here in this corner, too. It's been twice that she's been wide open for a nice 3-ball and just can't see over those taller guards.
Battle. Look at that move she put on Asbury. Oh, that's going to sting. I know Hopkins is up big, but that's okay. Like we said before, if Hopkins makes a mistake, they go right back to it on defense. Battle with the steal and the dime to Woodson. Taylor Woodson with a quick 7-point burst to start the second half.
Amaya Naji didn't even turn the box out on that one. She kind of knew it was going in.
Here's Agara, who stutter steps around Jada James.
You know, looking at some of their profiles too and their workout routines over the summer, they definitely targeted some of their areas that they needed improvement on, and it shows. They invested in their training in the off season.
Agara, I didn't know she was a southpaw. I'm just watching her at the free throw line now.
That makes you even more deadly.
Brings back memories of Mia Curtis.
Yeah.
Who's now at Dartmouth and able to play this year. Ivy League chose not to participate last season. I didn't know Agara was a lefty until just now. You learn something every day.
Yeah.
I mean, Agara is a fantastic player, left or right-handed, and so is Ronnie Porter, who buries the corner 3.
She's been camping out there for the last 2 possessions.
Well, we know Ronnie, she can put up points. Woodson thought about a 3, goes to Agara, and she'll go back to the line.
It's snatch and rip.
Referencing the story I mentioned earlier about Agara and her takeover gene, in the Summer Jam against All Iowa Attack, her Metro Stars team, they were down big. They came up a little bit short, but Agara almost single-handedly won it. Battle was struggling to hit her shots. Contreras wasn't doing all that well, and Agara just took over. I think she got beat once by an All Iowa Attack player in the post, and after that, she had a couple of blocks. She wouldn't let anything past her.
It's been a joy to watch her mature over these last 4 years on the court. I think I started watching her when she played rec ball in North Minneapolis, and she's always gotten it.
Kayla James on the fast break feed from Asbury. I'll say this, even though All Iowa Attack won that division, I've got a feeling those players were happy they didn't have to face Agara again.
Yeah.
McGill to Naji for 2. Maya up to 14. And Como looking for some momentum. 61-26 the score.
The movement on Hopkins press and the way that they're moving, transitioning with the ball, you want to move with the ball and not after the ball. It looks as if they're already playing in college.
Which would be par for the course at Hopkins.
Yeah. But they just move so well with the ball.
Porter in trouble. There's an example. Taylor Woodson with the pick, and she'll go all the way for 2.
I'd love to have Coach Starks mic'd up for a game.
Another deflection. Naji with the steal. That was set up by Battle, and Naji missed her target. That's a pass she'll probably want back. Break for the Cougars. Here's Asbury. Spin move. Naji got there just in time. 5-4 against 6-4. Here's Kelly Boyle to Battle. That will stay with Hopkins.
And there's, communication is key on defense. That's all I'm going to say.
63-26. Here comes Naji, who goes right over KK Asbury. Actually used a power move as the two AAU teammates collided, and Taylor Woodson with another interception and another fast break score. Timeout, Como Park. Taylor Woodson, I think, would fit nicely on a basketball team or maybe a college football team with her ability to intercept passes.
Yeah, reading the floor, and she plays that middle so well. She's reading those passes, and especially if you broadcast them, when you have a team that is smothering you on defense, you just got to get to the basics and use your ball fakes, fake high, go low. There's so many different things that you can use to kind of swing the defense a little bit, and they'll get it.
Taylor Woodson, as we noted, part of that Three Amigas with Contreras and Battle, and Elena going to Cochise, a JUCO in Arizona, which for her I think is not a bad strategy, because not being able to play her senior year as she recovers from her ACL surgery, I think will give
her that time to get back in the groove and the swing. Yeah, absolutely.
And it gives her a chance to showcase her abilities, because it can be hard to take up the recruiting process when you're not able to play.
Yeah.
As Ronnie Porter steps into a 3 and is short. Taylor Woodson this time runs a set. Battle to Naji up against James, and Maya will shoot 2. I'm not sure who will be on the short list for Miss Basketball, but you have to think Naji will be among the list of candidates.
Absolutely.
As she goes to the line.
Just realizing that Agara
is only a junior. We get to watch her another year.
Well, you've got Agara, Woodson, a junior, McGill, a sophomore. And remember, this team, we mentioned some of the players that left, and Contreras. Salama, one of them, she decided to finish out her high school career at St. Louis Park. Asbury, open for three, no good. So this Hopkins team, their depth, maybe taking a hit compared to prior years, but they still have the culture, the pedigree that have been established for a long time. And even though they look a little different now with the new coach and Paige now playing at UConn, what got them there hasn't changed. And
Absolutely.
Don't forget, there's a younger Naji and a younger Woodson coming up too.
And you know, I'm a Como fan for life. But I also give lots of respect to Coach Starks and her program.
Walker with the steal. Tried to hook up with Porter. Pass was a little long. And McGill with the swipe. She's got Woodson, but McGill will take it herself with Woodson serving as a pick.
Yeah, and you could hear Liv telling her, you know, pick. And so that's that teamwork working together.
Shakyla Walker, the one bright spot for the Cougars in this game, 14 points, looking smooth there on that runner. So is Maya Naji, who can't hit the 15-footer.
Woodson is a rebounding machine.
And that allows McGill to score on a second chance play. Porter through the hole. Maya Naji looked a little flabbergasted there. I thought Maya was going to stop her. Instead, Ronnie went right by.
Yeah, Ronnie reads the defense very well. I think her and Woodson kind of had a little miscommunication on that assignment.
Well, Maya Naji recognizing her advantage on that assignment. She'll go to the line for two against number 21 for the Cougars. That's Tania Childs, number 21 for Como Park.
I think that's 23. Is that 23?
Well, I see both Childs and Chloe Thompson out there.
Yeah.
21 and 23.
Oh, the 7. I got you.
Naji makes both free throws. Hopkins is 21 of 27 from the line. Naji with 20 points. Ronnie Porter showcasing her speed, finds Thompson. Maya Naji says, I don't think so.
You know, there's no let up for Hopkins. It's 30-75, and they're still full court pressing.
Well, remember, Hopkins, they can't take a play off, or they don't want to, because Tara Starks, she's not going to take any nonsense.
No.
She's a big part of this program, with her daughter winning a couple of state titles.
And I think that would be a great matchup to go ahead and utilize right now. And the open court is Boyle against Porter.
And referencing what you said earlier about Como, I won't forget you got to witness some memories on the bench with Andrea Adams in your senior season.
Yeah.
Oh, Maya Naji looks like she suffered a cut. So Agara will go in.
She doesn't look too happy at all either.
Well, she has 20 points, and she is romping against the Como Park defense. I wouldn't be happy either.
Oh, that was great defense there.
Copeland read the pass.
She was right there.
And so this may not be the tune-up for Hopkins, at least not yet, but they'll get one on Friday when they play Appleton East, and then they get a rematch with Chaska in the nightcap of the Tip-Off Classic. You know that's going to draw a crowd with a pair of Minnesota recruits.
Yes.
Hopkins, their tough matches are coming, but again, they're often winning runaways outside the conference. KK Asbury with their first field goal of the second half. Agara pump fakes the three. Kicks it out to Boyle. Agara again. Agara, the more I watch her play, the more she screams versatility.
Oh my gosh, stretch four all day.
We know she can play inside, but she can run outside too. And there's Amaya Battle, who will have a chance at three. Amaya Battle, she was the fourth from the senior class to commit to the Gophers. And when she went on her official visit, the three who had committed already, Mara Braun, Nia Holloway, and Mallory Heyer, were all waiting for her at Williams Arena. And they made a surprise appearance. And that, among other things, helped convince Amaya to give the home school a shot. Or I should say, one of the home schools a shot. St. Thomas is now D1.
It's going to be interesting to see the development and growth of those girls in that program. The Big Ten is not an easy conference to play in. And that backcourt the backcourt especially, because I look at them and they're pretty small. But they have an extremely high basketball IQ, all of them.
Yeah, Minnesota doesn't necessarily have the history of other schools, but Amaya was saying, you know what, that's an opportunity to make some.
Absolutely.
Interestingly, among the four, as Battle will shoot two more, we'll have running time when we get to 9 minutes. 3 of the 4 are in the ESPN Hoop Girls 100. The one who isn't is Nia Holloway. We'll see what she can do on Thursday. And I'm good friends with her mother, Nolana. And they've made it clear, and I think Amaya and everyone else too, don't worry about the rankings. Don't worry about any of that. Just go out there, play your best, and we'll see what happens. But
absolutely.
Mara Braun, I believe, is the highest of the team. Oh, Mara or Maya, I can't remember which one. They're trying to get Maya Naji subbed in. That's the stoppage here. 10-14 left in the second half. Hopkins up by 1100. Okay, 47. If you're wondering how this came about, I talked to Tara Starks briefly, and she said Hamlin wasn't able to switch them out of the matchup they had scheduled at the Pat Patterson invite, so they said, all right, we'll just play each other twice. Again, that doesn't happen often outside the conference.
It's a great jump. Way to stay with it, Ronnie.
The only other time I can think of a school meeting more than once in regular season play, at least out of conference, was 07-08 when Central and South played each other 3 times, once in the regular season, once in the Twin Cities game, and once in the state title game as Nunu Agara misses the 3. I don't know if you were around back then, LaToya, but South won the first 2 games. Central won the last one. That was with Kiara Buford. And
yes.
she was still there, Tiara Taylor. And on the south side, you had Aphisha Holmes, Taylor Hill.
So during that time, I was busy being a mom.
Well, you still are a mother.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that. You haven't lost that status. That's okay. I was early in my career. Uh-oh. We have a player down for Como Park. 80-32 the score.
And as her dad sends her good mojo and says, get up. You're not hurt.
That is Shakyla Walker. That's not someone you want to see go down to injury.
Like
but she looks to be okay.
Yeah.
I hope right. When she went down, you're like, uh-oh, that's one of your playmakers. And Como Park, Shania Nichols has spent the last 2 years watching. You don't want to lose someone this early in the season. Taylor Woodson, this is going to be the 3rd steal and run out that she completes on her own in this half. Taylor is turning this into a clinic.
I think we've only seen Nichols Vanette take one jumper, which is not usual for me to see.
And Asbury will go to the line for 2. And I'm not sure what Yolanda England said to her players beforehand or at halftime, but I wouldn't be surprised if she said something along the lines of, don't worry about the score.
Absolutely.
You want to get the win, and you want to prep your players for that. As Walker is being examined by the athletic trainer. And as we said, Como Park, they've got a lot of tough matchups all across the spectrum.
Yeah.
They're going to get a resumption of their series with Maranatha Christian Academy on December 16th.
That'll be an interesting matchup. Maranatha had a lot of movement last year. Tyler Coley's over there now, and
we know what he can do, and we know the energy he brings to the game. He already picked up a few transfers.
Yes.
And I think Maranatha, maybe the strongest they've been in a long time. But the Como Maranatha
It's amazing
series,
what a coaching change can do for you.
Well, likewise, when Alexis Gray Lawson left, folks were wondering, okay, what's Como going to look like? And then when Yolanda England got hired, at least in my view, I figured Como should have some stability because Yolanda's well known with the program. She's got Ronnie. She's got another daughter, Amani Crump, who will be coming along. So once Ronnie graduates and goes on to college, there's going to be another one.
And Amani's already getting runs in with the older girls. You know, this summer she got a lot of runs in with the high school girls. So
Jazzy Dupree has a run with a three-pointer. That's her first field goal. Hopkins up 87-36. Just under 7 to play. We're at the mercy roll threshold here.
Hopkins jumps at everything on defense. You've got to use.
That is the first field goal for Shania Nichols-Vanette. But Como Park, they have arguably the 2 top contenders in Class 2A on the schedule. Dupree knocking down a couple of threes.
A ball movement. It's almost like Naji's post-up is just a deflection.
It can be with this team.
Because she swings it right back out.
And Woodson getting the dime there. Unfortunately, they don't give hockey assists. But Como Park, they have both Providence and Minnehaha, the 2 teams that could end up seeing each other for the 2A title. If you're wondering, January 18th is the first time those 2 teams meet. You might see me there.
Yeah.
Addie Mack and Madden Greenway.
As long as Amaya doesn't have a game, I'm there.
Yeah, you're still tied. Although I think it's a little easier now because when she goes out on the road, the road trip's a little further out, so you can stay home and you have an excuse.
Yes.
Oh, you tease.
And she's playing so well right now that I really want to be.
Yeah,
able to.
she's balling.
My last year, I'll get to
she's balling.
Yeah, she is.
Jada James gets on the board. Yeah, well, I'm sure Demaya's going to watch this game when we get it up there. We should point out that she is balling right now.
Yeah, JUCO National Player of the Week.
Remember, they didn't play last year.
Right. And they had a coaching change as well. Coach P is doing an amazing job.
Nichols-Vanette lines up the 3, short. Hopkins up to 90, by the way, their first 90-point game of the season.
Are we going to have a away team bust the clock on the Como gym floor?
I don't know if they'll go that far. Typically speaking, teams won't go to 100 in a runaway. Sort of an unwritten rule. So unless you have to go up there. There have been a couple of games I've covered. Well, you weren't quite there yet, but Como and Maranatha, probably the most memorable meeting I had. Andrea Adams had 47 points.
Yes.
But Maranatha won 104-97 because Chris Bierman, he had this run and gun offense where he wanted to get a shot up in 10 seconds and just wear out opponents, and Well, he wore out Como Park that day. I'll never forget that game. He did ask me how Maranatha is doing. He still keeps an eye on it, but...
Yeah, Miss London Harris has made a lot of noise on the AAU circuit and as an 8th grader, so it's nice to see her.
C35?
No. 21. Just
21.
checked in.
Well, for full disclosure, her uncle is running the camera right now, so we have to be on our best behavior. I hope you only have nice things to say about
Oh, yeah,
one thing.
absolutely, absolutely.
Well, I understand that she's also related to Tamara Moore.
Yes, yes, that comes with its own fan club.
Yes, it does. Asbury to the line, 1-1. I had the chance to actually see one of Tamara's mentors, Faith Johnson-Patterson. You know she's back at visitation.
Yep. Yep, I got a chance to work with her this summer, too, over at Conway Park for the Gatorade G1 programming. So it's always good to see her and be in good company.
So the reason we had the stoppage was because Como was not in the bonus yet. We've got some other deep players in there. Lauren Hilsheim for the Royals, 32. Tatum Woodson. Shakyla Walker back in there. Well, Shakyla's going to remember this game. Maybe not for the outcome, but she did well. 16 points for the Cougars.
And you know, there are little things that even though the score is a runaway score, that we can always be aware of. So Ronnie's working really hard in the backcourt, and if someone would have just had her back, that would have been a quick steal.
Well, again, for Como Park, this is the type of experience they were looking for, where, okay, maybe they don't win all the games, but they're going to get battle tested in a way the St. Paul City Conference can't provide. And, well, you like to see the student section giving Chloe Dimitrick a salutation, even though the game's out of reach.
She's so stoic-faced.
Well, again, for Como Park, if this can help them handle the section, Visitation's in that group, and I saw Samantha Wills. Visitation might be a year or two away from contending, but you've got De La Salle, Savannah White, and Sydney Runsway still there.
Yeah.
Malia White, as you noted.
Yep.
So if getting your butt kicked by Hopkins helps you prepare for De La Salle, who you probably are going to have to face in the section final, and that brings back memories of 5 years ago when the two did meet in the section final.
It just looks like Hopkins clicking on all seven. And then it looks like Irma Walker just checked in, number 30. She's a 7th grader.
Well, Hopkins, they've got a lot in the pipeline, even with some of the transfers between last year and this year. And they'll get some experience here. You know, their future is ahead of them. Naji with 22 points. Woodson, 19 points. She had 13 in the second half. Taylor Woodson erupted in that second half. Again, this is a score you probably expected out of Hopkins.
Right.
But it's still fun to see them play. That's going to be an offensive foul on number 4. Greta Sepinen. So LaToya, Como Park will start the season 0-3. That being said, the first 3 opponents were Hopkins, STMA, and Hopkins.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say this team's in trouble, but what are your takeaways from watching this game tonight?
Well, coming into the game, we knew Hopkins were a dominant force, and so they just kind of sealed that with what they showed today. But also with Hopkins, with Como Park, they continue to play throughout the game, which is huge when you have these back-to-back losses by perennial teams. So I'm going to say hats off to Coach Yolanda and the team for sticking it out and showing good sportsmanship and continuing to play throughout the entire game. I'm a big fan of film. And to get you prepared for when you go deeper into your sections and playoffs, watching film on a game like this is going to be extremely important.
91-44 the final. Hopkins with the win. They go to 3-0. We'll try to get a word with a couple of players before we wrap it up. Joining us is Taylor Woodson, who had 13 second-half points. You finished with 19. And Taylor, 3-0, and maybe not a surprising score given the matchup, but the second half, you were terrific. There were 3 steals and runouts on your end. So how do you apply that pressure on defense? How are you able to time passes and turn them into scoring opportunities like that?
I mean, honestly, you just got to lock in on D. I mean, our philosophy here at Hopkins is, play defense, offense will come. So, just lock in. Defense always comes first here at Hopkins. So.
Well, I would agree with that, having covered this team over the years. So what would you make to the start of this season? You get to play non-conference games again. You have more of a normal routine compared to a year ago. And with the chemistry that returned on this team, how do you think that's manifesting early on?
I mean, it's just honestly a blessing to get back out on the floor. I mean, unfortunately, COVID happened last year, and that kind of, messed up the season. So, it's really a blessing to get out here with my teammates again, because we're close. We're like sisters. We're with each other every day. So, it's fun to just get back out here again.
And you've been with this team for a long time. I think you've been playing on varsity since 8th grade.
Yep.
How have you evolved in that time, and what do you make of all the recognition you're getting in your junior season?
Honestly, I just soaked up all I could from, past players that are now graduating, playing in college and whatnot. They gave me, their leadership, knowledge, passed it down to me, and now I'm doing the same for the younger kids, just being a role model.
I had Amaya and Liv on, and they mentioned how you can't win any titles at this point of the year, but after what happened a year ago, how has the team moved on from last year, and how do you use that to stay motivated? Because Amaya talked about the mission all of you are on to reclaim the throne. Long way to go, but from what we've seen out of this Hopkins team, they're not at their top form yet. It's only the 3rd game of the year, but they look pretty fluid.
I mean, honestly, yes, we do have a mission, but, it's all about having fun, sticking together, playing together, because, we have seniors on the team. We're not going to be able to play with them again, so it's really just soak up every moment that we can and, keep working hard.
And 2 of them are your fishing buddies, as I understand it.
Yes. I like to hang out with them a lot, yes.
Well, Amaya said Elena was the best fisher. Do you concur, or do you think you could give them a run?
Personally, I'm the best fisher, but, I'll let her have it. I'll let her have it this time. I'll let her have it.
Well, you might have to pass on some of those fishing skills to a new crop once those 2 graduate.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so keep that in mind, Hopkins fishing fans out there. Before you go, you want to say hi to anybody?
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. Hey, family. I'm getting interviewed.
Well, congrats on the win, and thanks for dazzling us. I know we'll be seeing you again later this season, and you got to start somewhere, and I'd say you're off to a rocketing start.
Thank you, yeah.
Taylor Woodson from Hopkins. That wraps up our coverage here from Como Park. For LaToya, Turk, and the rest of our crew, I'm Mike Peden. Thanks for watching.